Hello everyone, welcome back to Durbanites FPL Game Week 36 review, Game Week 37 preview. It's here, the penultimate game week. Everything is happening, so exciting. EPL is up for grabs. Looks like the Durbanites FPL is pretty much all said and done, but the Cup is still happening, a new exciting chapter. Let's start looking at the table. RoboClop is way ahead now, over 170 points with just 2 weeks to go. Almost impossible for anyone to catch Suad, I think. And down there below, you can see second, third place for Zaida as well. So Zai is up another century for her as well. 2005 being the third person to enter 2000 in this league. So far, we're probably going to have another few before the league is done. Hopefully, the top 10 all enter the 2000 space. Down at the bottom, you can see still movement happening as well as everyone tries to ramp up towards the end of the season. Now, with this last double game week, let's see what happened as well. Going into the cup, guys, it was an exciting week as well. The champion, the holder, the two-time champion, Fatality knocked out by Plunder FC. Plunder FC going through to the semi-final. Frosty FC getting knocked out by Zakia. Are you sure? There's a sibling rivalry ended with Dora the scorer getting knocked out in the quarterfinal. Winchester Silty goes through first time into the semi-final as well versus another sister, RoboClop. So RoboClop so far looking pretty untouchable, but would have lost in the quarterfinal against him as well. So let's see how this goes in this major semi-final matchup. Now, going forward from here, let's look at the player selection for the last week. Only Erling Haaland increasing ownership up to 80%, and Gabriel Magalhaes still holding at 60%. Antoine Semenyo moving out of the staples this week, not enough faith in him, even though he did return. Now the differentiators this week, Phil Foden coming in on a rotated Man City squad, scoring well for just the one manager that held on to him. Tarkowski doing well for 3 managers, but only one played him in the starting 11, so unfortunate for the others. Donnarumma doing well as well, 3 owners having him, Elliot Anderson as well scoring double figures, and Ryan Gravenberch after a long dry spell, all of them held by 3 managers. Now, what difference did that make to our hits and misses? Zaida gets her second centurion for the season, fantastic 100 plus points haul for her this week when she played her bench boost, so very smart play. Stonewalls all around there for Didi, Mohamed Saad, Kumer and Squish. Iron walls for a whole lot of people who doubled up on Mark Gehi and Gabriel Magalhaes. So Suad, Zai, Atta, Hassan, Azra, Fatih, Ami, Squish, Ansu and Umer. But titanium walls for myself, Mobs and Fatih going over 40 points in that back line. So quite a big week for us as well. Super strikers for Zai, Azra, Didi, Mohamed Sadiq, Umer, Hassan and Maimhai. Elite strikers for Zax, Fatih and Mac, and again for those that took on the triple captain of Erling Haaland, even though he only played 1 game, Suad, myself, Atta and Hassan all picking up the golden boot. But big misses on the bench as well. As you can see, myself, Azra, Mohamed Sadiq and Ansu missing on 19 plus points on a big bench boost week, which could have seen us doing a lot more damage. That being said though, let's look at the best possible selection. So Donnarumma gets the number 1 jersey over David Raya. Mark Gehi, Gabriel Magalhaes, Alderete, and Tarkowski getting the back 4. Tarkowski getting the captain's armband for his big 15-point return. Foden, Gravenberch, Anderson, and Semenyo making up the back 4. So on a 4-4-2, Watkins and Haaland getting the front 2. Calvert-Lewin, no place for him on the field. He gets the bench. Senesi gets on the bench as well, just on price. And Enzo gets on the bench with just 8 points, seeing off competition from Ismail Assar. Now this team would have got you a massive 145 points with 177 off the bench at a total cost of 101.8. So with that guys, let's look at the matchups. Here it is, the last 2 games of the season. Arsenal for sure clear favourites against Burnley, and a Crystal Palace team that has been resting a lot of their players. Aston Villa, a tough 2 left, depends whether you're holding on to their players. Liverpool, who are not in the best of form, and then Man City on the last day. Liverpool game for them is a European final almost, because they need to hold on to that spot. The teams below 5th are really challenging for that Champions League spot as well. Then you've got Brentford with a tricky one at Crystal Palace this week before taking on Liverpool in the last week. Brighton have some fairly good games based on their form. Then you've got Chelsea taking on Spurs and Sunderland. Crystal Palace again flagged because they're not really playing a full strength team. Everton and Fulham with fairly good fixtures towards the end of the season. And then Man City as well. We've got Bournemouth this week, then Aston Villa next week. And then you've got, of course, West Ham, who taking on Newcastle this week, so that's not good for them. And then Newcastle have Fulham, who are also slightly weakened. Hopefully they can finish their season on a high. And then Notts Forest, who also now have a Europa League final to look towards, might not play a full-strength team, but Elliot Anderson has been doing fantastically for them, and Morgan Gibbs-White should be back, even though he is still recovering from that heinous injury a couple of weeks ago. Now, looking at the selections as well, Sanchez is still doubtful for Chelsea and Alisson still doubtful for Liverpool, but Bamadashvili is back, so might be an option for him. Vicario is still out for Tottenham, but we're looking at Verbruggen, Martinez, Donnarumma and Henderson as possible goalkeeper choices. Raya if you have the money. Then looking at the Arsenal defense, Timber is out and Calafiori is doubtful, so expect Mosquera might play. Scher and Livramento out for Newcastle. Ballard still suspended and will not come back this season for Sunderland. Romero's out for Spurs. Stroke still doubtful for Leeds, and Goodmanson is on his way back but not there yet. And Anderson is now suspended for Fulham as well. That's going to leave them open at the back. In terms of choices, not too many this week. Tarkowski is on fine form for Everton and has a great chance to perform against Sunderland. Lewis Hall against Newcastle, they will expect his pace to create some trouble as they try and get that win over West Ham and relegate them. Van Heck for Brighton, Gabriel and Saliba, the two at Arsenal, and then Mosquera as an outside chance that he will play. Then looking at the midfield, you've got Kudus, Xavi out still for Spurs. Of course, they're not making it back this season. Merino out for Arsenal. Grealish, Okafor is out for Leeds, unfortunately. Estevao out for Chelsea, and Neto is doubtful. Wirtz doubtful for Liverpool. That's going to hurt them. Sessegnon doubtful for Fulham, and Iwobi is out. Gibbs-White, as I mentioned, making his way back from that face injury. And then Wiffer for Brighton is still doubtful. But Pascal Gross is still in good form for Brighton and well worth the shout. Dewsbury, Hall and McNeil for Everton this week. Then you've got Bruno Fernandes, Cunha for Manchester United. Might want to throw in Brian Mbeumo since Benjamin Sesko is also a bit doubtful. Cherki, Doku and Semenyo, take your choices, guys. There's a lot of rotation happening because Manchester City will play the FA Cup final this weekend before playing their game on Tuesday. So there's a lot of rotation going to happen in that side. Saka and Trossard, as well as Rice for Arsenal. Saka is definitely coming back to form when they need him. Shada and Dango Otara for Brentford. Wilson is the only one that I would favour in the Fulham side. And then you've got Harvey Barnes, Anthony Gordon and Jacob Murphy for Newcastle as they look to finish on a high and really put West Ham to the sword this weekend. And then guys, up front, Nketiah is out, Ekitike is out from Liverpool and also from the World Cup. Solanke is highly doubtful, might not make another appearance this season. Richarlison is now rumoured to be leaving Spurs at the end of the season, so he might want to leave on a high as well to save them. And then Sesko is still in doubt at Manchester United, so that's why Brian Mbeumo might be a good shout. Haaland's definitely the one to favour as Manchester City go chasing Arsenal all the way to the final day. Mateta in for Crystal Palace had good returns last week. Watkins for Aston Villa against a Liverpool side that might be reeling, but Isak against an Aston Villa side that might be reeling as well. Gyökeres for Arsenal, I think he's probably going to start this one. Calvert-Lewin for Leeds. Welbeck for Brighton, he's been on good form. Thiago is probably a good bet to come back for the last 2 weeks of the season. And Nick Woltemade is the choice, but you could go Will Osula for Newcastle. He has been favoured recently to start. Not sure how that will pan out. Guys, do not forget, it is a Friday deadline. 1 hour from the time that this video is uploaded is the deadline. Do not miss out. Start making your changes. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Drop us a note in terms of who will win the Durbanites Cup if you think you have a favourite. Let's see if you're going to take a punt. But until then, so long for now.